the most amazing experience I could ever possibly imagine. How any woman does what they do is beyond comprehension, but we're both absolutely thrilled.
What if the very thing he sacrificed everything to protect is now slipping away right in front of him? Not because of the palace, not because of the media, but because of something much closer, something personal. Because for years, Prince Harry made one promise louder than anything else. His children would not grow up the way he did.
No relentless cameras. No invasive headlines.
No loss of control over their own lives. That wasn't just a preference. It was his mission, his reason for stepping away from royal life. And for a while, it looked like he was winning. When Prince Archie of Sussex was born, everything was different. No immediate press reveal. No hospital steps. No public spectacle. The message was clear. This child belongs to his family, not to the world. The same approach followed when Princess Lilibet of Sussex arrived. Rare appearances, minimal exposure, carefully controlled glimpses. Privacy wasn't just a strategy, it was a boundary. But then, something changed. Not overnight, not dramatically, but enough for people to start asking questions. Because in 2025, Meghan Markle stepped back into the public space. This time on her own terms. A new brand, a new platform, a new voice. And slowly, that private world began to open up. At first, it was subtle. Photos with faces partially hidden. Moments shared but controlled. But over time, the lines started to blur. Images became clearer. Moments became more visible. And then came a post that caught everyone's attention. A Valentine's image showing Harry holding Lilibet, her face visible. Not a paparazzi shot. A chosen moment. A public one. Now here's where the tension really begins. Because at that exact same time, Harry was doing something else entirely. He was in court, speaking out against the dangers of social media, warning about how platforms impact children, fighting for protection, while back home, his own children were being introduced into that same space. And that's the contradiction that has people watching more closely than ever. This is where Angela Levin steps in, not as a casual commentator, but as someone who has spent time with Harry, observed him, studied him, understood the patterns behind the public image. And now, she's asking the question that's becoming impossible to ignore. When does protection become exposure? Because this isn't just about photos anymore. It's about something much bigger. Identity, titles, and how those titles are being used. In 2023, Archie and Lilibet were officially recognized as prince and princess. A move rooted in tradition, but interpreted very differently by critics. Because alongside that recognition, their visibility began to grow, not just as children, but as part of a broader public narrative, a brand, a story being shaped in real time. And then came a moment that changed everything quietly. December 2025, a small announcement with massive implications. The Archewell Foundation became Archewell Philanthropies, and for the first time, their children were written directly into its mission. Not in the background, not privately, but publicly, as part of something bigger. At the same time,
A family image was released.
perfectly timed,
Perfectly aligned.
perfectly strategic. Now, ask yourself, was that coincidence? Or was that positioning? Because moments like that rarely happen by accident. But behind all of this, the headlines, the criticism, the speculation, there's something far more human happening. A father, caught in a space he never expected to be in. Reports describe Harry as emotional, not just in speeches, but in moments where the weight of everything becomes visible. Because this isn't just about public perception. It's about something deeper, control, and the possibility that he may be losing it. Then there's the issue that has followed him for years. Security. Because for Harry, protection isn't symbolic. It's real. He believes his children cannot safely return to the UK without proper security, that they are cut off from their roots, their family, their heritage. And yet, every public image, every appearance, every shared moment increases visibility, increases exposure, increases risk. And that's the position he's now in, trying to protect, while watching that protection slowly unravel, trying to control, while the narrative moves forward without him. So now the real question isn't about the past. It's about what comes next. Can Prince Harry reclaim the boundary he once drew so clearly? Can he realign his actions with the promise he made? Or has the story already moved beyond his control? Because the world is no longer just listening to what he says. They're watching what happens. And when those two things don't match, people notice. They question. They start connecting the dots. And that's why this moment matters. Because it's not just about headlines. It's about a father, a promise, and a future that's being shaped in real time. So watch closely, because the next move, whatever it is, won't just define his story. It will define the story of his children too. And this time, the world is paying attention more than ever.